I'm Bob Riggio, and with me once again is one of our many veterans that call the Black Hills area home. This is Diane Buxton, retired Air Force. Let's make sure we say that, Air Force, as a Master Sergeant, and one of the very few female veterans that I have had the privilege to interview. So, Diane, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us about this. I truly appreciate it.
Well, it's my pleasure, just like serving my country. That was my pleasure, my duty and my honor, and I'm so glad I got to do it.
And I'm so glad we're able to acknowledge you as a veteran of this country. And all the people out there want to thank you for your service.
Well, it's my pleasure. I was in SAC. I was Master Sergeant. I was in 3 career fields.
First of all, tell us where you're from. Are you from South Dakota?
Yes, I am. I'm from Rapid City. I am a planted here. My dad was from Massachusetts. My mom was from here. She's a local gal. My dad was military.
And your dad was also in the Air Force, and I think that was the reason why you decided to join the Air Force.
It is the reason why I joined the Air Force. I wanted to be just like my dad when I grew up, and that's what I wanted.
And you also want to do a little bit of traveling, and that's what you did.
And that's what I did. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to France with my dad. He was stationed there for 9 months. They were ferrying aircrafts back and forth. As a family, we went over there and we had great fun. I got to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I went to the Louvre. I saw Mona Lisa. We had a great time. I joined the Air Force in 1976. I was a late bloomer. I needed to grow up, I thought, before I went in. I was 27 when I went in.
Oh, wow.
But it worked to my advantage. They just had started opening these career fields that were normally dominated by men to women, and I just was fortunate enough to get one.
Can we talk a little bit about your career fields? You said you had 3 specialties while you served in the Air Force. Can you name those 3 specialties for us?
Sure. I was a crew chief on a B-52. There was a little bit of jealousy there, I think. A lot of the men weren't ready to accept females on the fly line. They thought we should be in the hospital or behind a desk. But I showed them I could work on an airplane, and I meant it.
You did work on an airplane.
I did. I was in organizational maintenance, and we checked for loose screws, rivets. We checked the in-air refueling door. Things like that is what we did. It's checked over every time it comes in for a landing.
Every time it comes back?
Yes, because a B-52 is one of the only aircraft that require a drag chute, which means they have the drag chute. We, as OMS, the group that I was with, we had to load
The drag chute?
the drag chute. Just minor checking, just to make sure everything's in place. You know, sometimes some of the pilots wanted to take their crew chiefs with them just to make sure, you know.
Just to make sure they know what they're doing. If a crew chief says, I'm not going to fly in that plane, then it's going to put some doubt in the pilot's head.
Exactly right.
How many folks were under you as the crew chief?
I had 6 people that worked for me. They were all men, and they never had a problem with me, and I never had a problem with them. We got the job done, and we did a good job, too.
And you said you had 3 specialties.
Yes.
Crew chief was one. What's one of the others?
Then I went into training and education, and what I did in that career field was when the new recruits come in, they have to be trained. They are trained at their specialty Air Force base, be it Lackland or Champaign, Illinois. But after that, then they had books that they had to complete. And I made sure that they completed their books. And then after that, I tested them to make sure that they were knowledgeable.
And the 3rd specialty was, I'm going to say, a recruiter. Am I right?
I was a recruiter, you better believe it. We would get those dirt bags in there any way we could. I always made sure that I said the Pledge of Allegiance. When the Blue Angels flew by, I would be the one standing there saluting. I would fly my flag. Yes, I was very patriotic. When I went in, I was one of the few females that went into what had naturally been male-dominated career fields.
Sure.
Some of the guys didn't like it too well. They didn't want these women out here on the fly line. We didn't belong on the fly line. It takes a very strong person. You have to be open-minded. You have to be strong-minded. You have to be firm. You have to be specific. There's a lot that is required of a military person. The ability to work with different people, different types of people, different personalities. When you're in the military, you meet a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities, and you have to learn to work with them. Right here, I've got my dog tags that were issued to me when I first went in. These are mine. They've got my name and my church affiliation. If I were to be killed in action, they would leave the one dog tag on me and take the other one and put it between my jaw, my teeth. These are my dad's dog tags, and I'm very proud of my dad.
Like daughter, like father. Could I say that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Well, I would strongly suggest anyone that doesn't know what they want to be or want to do when they grow up, even if they are grown up, try the military. It's a great way of life.
And start off with the Air Force, or could we start off with the Army?
Oh, God, go Air Force.
Diane, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Really appreciate it. And thank you for the 20 years of your life that you put in for this country.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I wouldn't change a minute. I'd go back tomorrow if they didn't think I was too old.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.